Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Ritual Killer. Right? Red Box Entertainment, so awesome. And it's about a detective who's ready to retire, but then teams up with a professor of African studies to track down a serial killer who is performing an ancient black magic practice of Mutai. Whatever. So, whatever. A detective with a professor looking for a serial killer. That's all you need to know. As far as the plot goes, hour and 32 minutes, whatever. But Morgan Freeman, he's Dr. Mackle, so I'm assuming he's the professor with Dr. Cole Hauser plays Detective Lucas. So, and then I'm scrolling through, and Vernon Davis is in this. Vernon Davis, yes, the tight end for the 49ers, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. Bad news is right now it's at a 4.0 and 763 people have rated it so far. So not a lot of people. But Morgan Freeman and Cole Hauser, here's what I want to say is, I get it, like a Morgan Freeman, I'll say. Be it anything, like he's Nicolas Cage, whatever. That's great. I'm just surprised that Cole Hauser isn't getting more prominent big box office films. Just the name in himself. I've seen now, this is the second movie I've seen him in since Yellowstone. Of course, I was going to say, since I saw him in Dazed and Confused, because that's where he got to start. But no, I mean, everybody knows him now from Yellowstone, and he plays that role really well. Everybody loves him. I like him. I think he's cool. I like his character. But he's not getting these other roles. That's interesting. But here he is on a straight to red box film. So hopefully it's good. I'll let you know. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of The Ritual Killer. No check-in tonight, I apologize. I don't know. This film, another tough one for me here to review. I'll say this. First of all, for some reason it didn't hold my interest as much as I had hoped. I found myself, although it seems like an interesting topic and plot line, I found myself on my phone a little bit more than I should have been. And really nothing was going on. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm waiting to see something. There's, so it wasn't something pulling me away. It was driving me away, if that makes sense. But, I think there's something there. I just don't know why it didn't hold my interest. Morgan Freeman in it, everything like that. But, we were right about the roles. Cole Hauser plays a detective. Morgan Freeman plays the professor. And Vernon Davis, who I will say, I thought did pretty well. I mean, very limited on his lines. But there's one where he's using some sort of accent, and I thought he did pretty good. And I didn't think his acting was bad at all. From what I can tell, I'm not an expert, but I watch a lot of movies. But it didn't stand out to me as bad acting. Now, I will say his fight scene that he gets into, that could use a little bit of work, right? I mean, that wasn't the best. But his acting was okay, and some of the action scenes, running, he looked great, of course. Jumping here and there, I don't know. But I'm being hypercritical on a football star in a movie. But I think he's got at least okay enough acting skills to be in some more movies. But ultimately, he is the guy, the ritual killer. It's not a surprise. That's right in there, right? So you can imagine if the other two are those guys, that's who he's going to be. And so the plot line is really around him. And why is he doing it? And I'll break it down. So he's doing it. Spoiler alert if you must. I'm not going to ruin the ending, but I will talk a little bit more. So spoiler alert, because it makes it easier to talk in movies like this. He's doing it to get body parts, to make medicine, to make himself stronger. And evidently, he can do it also for other people. He could be for hire and help other people. And Morgan Freeman does a really good job of explaining what's going on, and it all ties together. Again, not sure why I was losing interest in it, but that makes sense. Now, at first, I was like, this is, I just kept asking why. Why? And you get the why. So, if you hang in long enough, you figure out the whole why behind everything. There's also this other piece. There's the Cole Hauser backstory, which gives you a little insight to the kind of guy he is, but not so much. You know, I think the backstory doesn't seem to have a whole lot of relevance to the movie. For example, well, I don't know how to say it without getting into it, but you know what I mean? Like, you would think that his backstory would have some connection to the ritual killer. It really kind of doesn't, you know? So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me on why they took that route. You know, but, you know, that's where it is. I thought it was going to play a bigger role, but it didn't. And they don't reveal the whole backstory until the full movie is over. Some of it's up front, some of it's throughout the movie. But again, I don't know. So there you go. And again, I'm struggling to determine why I lost interest. And we come to the end. And again, I'm not going to spoil it for you. They took a really different route. I liked what they did, you know, when we come down to what's going to happen, right? We got Vernon Davis, we got our three main characters. What's going to happen? You know, he's going through what he needs to do. And so I won't say they mix it up, love it, like it, and you know, for the dramatic climax. And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, interesting. And then they end it in a very creative fashion, which I like. I wish I would have liked, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I do like my movies wrapped up in a little bow. I'm not saying there's no bow in this one, but there's intrigue at the end of this. There's a lot of intrigue, even from the dramatic climax to the non-dramatic climax. I don't know what the other climax, the end of the movie. There's a lot of intrigue there that makes me feel disappointed that I wasn't interested throughout the movie, and I can't put my finger on why. I don't know if there'll be a sequel of some sort, but there you go. I don't know what else to say. I mean, obviously, I like Hauser. He's like who he is. You know what I mean? Just as a detective, I thought Morgan Freeman was Morgan Freeman. You know what I mean? So there's decent acting, and I already talked about Vernon Davis. There's an interesting plot line that, if you pay attention enough, makes sense. And I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my mindset. I don't know. But that's what I got for you. Check it out. I think it's worth a watch. See what you think if you're into these types of, you know, detective murder mystery kind of movie. Almost a hint. Don't go into this thinking this, but a hint of Seven in it. A hint. Don't go into it and think you're going to see Seven. It's not that, but there's a hint of it there that I could relate it to. So if you kind of like that, this is like the knockoff version in a sense, sort of. I mean, there's not the whole, you know, you'll see. So, I don't know. I definitely would recommend it, and hopefully you find the draw more than I do, and maybe I just messed something up when I sat down to watch it. I don't know what that could be, but there you go. Hopefully I'm helpful in some form or fashion, but check it out at least for Vernon Davis if you're a football fan. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I'll probably give it a 6. Kimmel's Irish Pub.